Ambassador Kethvar's crystalline appendages trembled as he stood before the Galactic Council's emergency assembly. The holographic displays surrounding the circular chamber painted a grim picture, red zones spreading across star maps like a plague, marking worlds that had fallen to the Devourers. "Honorable representatives," Kethvar began, his voice barely above a whisper. "The Devourer fleet has consumed 17 more systems in the past solar cycle. Our combined fleets, they're gone. The Altarian Defense Force, the Zephyrian Armada, even the legendary Christek battle groups, all reduced to cosmic dust." A collective shudder rippled through the assembled delegates. The Devourers had appeared from the void beyond the galactic rim 18 months ago, biomechanical monstrosities that consumed everything in their path, converting matter into more of their kind. No negotiation was possible. No quarter was given. Chancellor Vexara of the Altarian Republic leaned forward, her blue-scaled face etched with desperation. "What options remain? Our scientists estimate we have perhaps 6 months before they reach the core worlds. Billions will die." The chamber fell silent except for the soft humming of life support systems. Every conventional strategy had failed. Every weapon in their arsenal had proven inadequate. The Devourers adapted faster than any force the galaxy had ever encountered. Then from the shadows of the observer's gallery, a voice spoke that made every being in the chamber freeze. "There is one option." The speaker emerged into the light. Dr. Yilnoth, the galaxy's foremost xenobiologist and a being so ancient that some questioned whether he remembered his own species' name. His 4 eyes glowed with an unsettling mixture of knowledge and fear. "Speak," Chancellor Vexara commanded. Dr. Yilnoth's tentacles writhed nervously. "There exists a species on the outer rim, Deathworld inhabitants. They've been quarantined for good reason. We classified them as a class-wide hazard, too dangerous for contact." Ambassador Kethvar's crystals darkened. "The humans?" A collective gasp echoed through the chamber. Every spacefaring species knew of the humans, though few had encountered them directly. The stories were legend. A species so violent they fought each other for sport, so resilient they thrived on a planet that would kill most galactic citizens within hours. They had been left alone in their corner of space, deemed too primitive and too dangerous to merit inclusion in civilized society. "You cannot be serious," Representative Mordak of the Hive Collective buzzed. "They're barely past nuclear technology. What could they possibly do that our advanced civilizations cannot?" Dr. Yilnoth's ancient eyes fixed on the star map. "Because they don't think like us. We see the Devourers as an unstoppable force of nature. Humans, they see them as something to be conquered. I've studied their history. They've been fighting impossible odds since they first stood upright. Their entire evolution is based on refusing to accept defeat." Chancellor Vexara stood, her decision crystallizing. "How do we contact them?" "That's the problem," Dr. Yilnoth replied. "Their system is heavily defended. Not by choice, they don't know we exist. But they've scattered automated defense platforms throughout their solar system. Weapons designed to destroy anything approaching their world. Getting a message through would require a suicide mission," Kethvar finished. The chamber erupted in debate, but Chancellor Vexara raised her hand for silence. "Who volunteers?" Without hesitation, Kethvar stepped forward. "I will go." 3 days later, Kethvar piloted a small unarmed vessel toward the Sol system. His ship, barely larger than an escape pod, carried nothing but basic life support and a universal translator loaded with every human language variant their databases contained. The first human defense platform that detected him nearly vaporized his ship with what could only be described as a crude, but terrifyingly effective kinetic weapon. The second platform launched what appeared to be nuclear missiles. Kethvar transmitted on every frequency he could access. "Please, we need help." 18 hours later, Kethvar found himself aboard a massive space station orbiting Earth's moon. The humans who greeted him were exactly as the reports described. Bipedal, aggressive-looking, with forward-facing predator eyes. But there was something else in their expression that the reports hadn't captured. Curiosity. The human leader, who introduced herself as Admiral Sarah Chen, listened to Kethvar's desperate plea without interruption. When he finished describing the Devourers, she was quiet for a long moment. "Show me," she said finally. Kethvar activated his portable holodisplay, showing footage of Devourer attacks. The humans watched in silence as planets were stripped of all organic matter, as fleets were consumed and converted, as entire civilizations vanished. Admiral Chen turned to her subordinates. Assessment? A grizzled human male with scars across his face grinned. Ma'am, they're big, they're ugly, and they think they're tough. He paused, his grin widening. I say we show them what happens when you mess with our neighbors. Kithvar's translator struggled with the human idioms, but the intent was clear. You'll help us? Admiral Chen nodded. Ambassador, you came here asking the most dangerous species in the galaxy for help. She gestured toward Earth, visible through the station's viewport. You found us. And there's something you need to understand about humans. We don't just fight to win. We fight to make sure the other guy never gets up again. 2 months later, the first human fleet arrived at the front lines. They brought weapons the galaxy had never conceived of. Missiles that learned and adapted. Ships that could ram through devourer hulls and keep fighting. And tactics so ruthlessly effective that even Allied forces watched in stunned silence. But more than their weapons, the humans brought something the galaxy had forgotten in its millions of years of civilization. The absolute, unshakable belief that there was no such thing as an unwinnable fight. As Kethavar watched human marines boarding a devourer vessel, actually boarding it as if the idea of defeat had never occurred to them, he realized that sometimes, when civilization failed, you needed barbarians. And sometimes those barbarians were exactly what heroes looked like.